Welcome to This is Digital, a podcast brought to you by West Monroe. Join us as we talk to leading experts about bringing the digital mindset to your organization.
Do you ever wonder what it means to be digital? Do you ever think about how you can drive change within your organization? The purpose of this podcast is to provide actionable insights to accelerate your success. Hi, everyone, and welcome to This is Digital. I'm your host, Rissa Redden. I joined West Monroe as Chief Marketing Officer in April of 2022. I am super excited to kick off this podcast for West Monroe for many reasons. Digital is a topic I'm passionate about and thrilled to take you all along on this journey with me. On this podcast, we'll show you how digital goes way beyond tech. This isn't a podcast just about AI or iPhones or enterprise systems. It's about people, about organization design, about habits, about process, and all the things that go into being digital. Today, I'm joined by Casey Foss to discuss what it means for companies to be digital. As Chief Commercial Officer here at West Monroe, Casey is passionate about building the consulting firm of the future, bringing together multidisciplinary teams with leading-edge technology, design thinking, and proprietary assets to design offerings that will help clients become digital leaders. We'll also be talking about what's to come in our first season of This is Digital. Casey, welcome.
Hi, Rissa. It's great to be here.
Casey, from your perspective, who should be listening to this podcast?
All business leaders. I think that the biggest misconception is that I need a chief digital officer to help my company become digital, and we don't believe it's any single person's job. And so I believe to deliver against a vision to become digital, you need support and buy-in across the C-suite, or it won't work. We need organizations that have a culture of risk-taking and failing fast. The C-suite or CEO has to own building this culture and educating their employees on the vision and the direction of the firm.
Casey, I think that's exactly right. Our research tells us that 16% of organizations say lack of frontline buy-in is their biggest challenge to realizing their vision. How does that play out?
Rissa, let's take a hospital C-suite. They might be all in on the organization's vision and understand why it's important and the role that technology can play and they can play in realizing the vision to become a more digitally oriented hospital, right? That has these seamless experiences. But this buy-in and understanding has to trickle down, not only to the other back office functions, HR, finance, et cetera, but also to the boots on the ground employees, such as doctors, nurses, and techs. These frontline employees are the ones who are equal owners of the customer experience and the product. They're the ones interacting with patients and families every day to deliver care, which in a health system is the product, right? And so even if we have this great vision and we're investing in tools and technology to bring it to life, if I interact with somebody on the front lines and they don't align to that, everything else is for nothing.
And another question for you, what's your perspective on digital transformation?
The right tech does matter because it allows us to move quickly with the market, launch products that matter, and it even matters as companies evolve. As I think about the next generation of leading organizations, they are defined by good products, with good tech, with amazing design. All of those things coming together allow organizations to move faster into the market and making it easier for them to enter and change the landscape that they exist in today. As you break down silos, you challenge traditional ways of working because they cause you to move slow and to not necessarily get to the right answer in the right way. When we talk about clients becoming digital, we do that because we want them to rethink their whole business entirely, not just a piece of it. And you aren't doing that as an organization because you want to be in the top 10% anymore. You're doing it because you need to do it to remain relevant.
Casey, what would be an example that would bring what you just described to life for us? What's a real life company example?
Let's think about Delta Airlines. You're navigating a huge airport. It's often hectic. For some of us who travel all the time, it becomes a lot easier. But in reality, travelers are bombarded with a ton of information at every turn. Digital screens, static signs, PA systems, announcements, security, and everything in between. And Delta rolled out a new digital offering, Parallel Reality. It's a single large screen that shows information relevant to a traveler's individual needs. Wayfinding directions to a gate, flight information, lounge information, and the list goes on and on. This iteration not only seamlessly blends the physical and digital elements of Delta's customer experience, but it also adds that next level of personalization and white glove touch.
There's been a lot written today about crisis fatigue and that we seem to jump from one crisis to the next, and it's taken a toll certainly on our people. But I wonder what advice you might have for how to prepare for whatever's next and how to prepare for uncertainty.
I think if we haven't convinced our listeners yet that becoming digital is important, it's more important than it ever was. And that's because of the market uncertainty, right? I won't even say the R word because who knows if it's coming or not. But I think digitizing your business is an imperative before it's too late. It's how we can cut costs, how we can grow revenue. It's how we can change the dynamic of our firms or any organization, better serve our customers. And I'll leave you with a stat that kind of keeps me up at night, which is in the last recession, 20% of companies from the bottom quartile leapfrogged to the top by the end of the recession, focusing on productivity gains and how they can get more out of their existing customers. And they did that before the downturn. And 20% of leading companies fell off the map for remaining unchanged. So if you have listened to any of these podcasts, read anything on digital, and you're still like, well, I don't have the time to deal with that. If you don't deal with it now, even though it's going to be hard, it's going to be too late.
Well, with that, I want to talk a little bit about what's to come this season. We're going to explore some very interesting topics like the importance of connecting digital experiences with physical ones, whether to build or buy new solutions that meet customer demands, and how your business can survive a recession. As it relates to the podcast, who are you excited to hear from?
So I am really excited to hear from a lot of the West Monroe leaders, right, who start to demonstrate, and I hope over time we knit together some of the different industry experts with the functional and the technology teams, because that's really where it all starts to come together. If I'm thinking about the guests that we have lined up that are not at West Monroe, I'm really excited to hear again from Mark King, the CEO of Taco Bell, his vision for how digital is going to change the future for Taco Bell and how they can better not only engage with their customers, but help their employees provide a better experience for their customers while having a better experience themselves. You know, I grew up on the Mexican pizza, so I have a soft spot for Mark because he brought it back after it was taken away. But I think that his whole depiction of how digital can change the operations of an organization is really key to what's going to help them grow in the future.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to be here.
Thanks for listening to This is Digital. If you enjoyed today's show, please follow or subscribe on your preferred podcast app. And don't forget to leave us a review. For more information on This is Digital, visit westmonroe.com/thisisdigital.